Howdy fellow model railroaders, my name is Kevin Brown. I want to thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. In this episode I get a chance to show some footage from a visit to a local HO railroad, model railroad, Allen Sat Camp's Twin Cities in Western. A friend and I went over and had a chance to do some operating on that. That was fun. We'll get a chance to show you that. Before I get into that, however, I'd like to go over any progress on the home layout, and really there hasn't been much on that, but on the YouTube front, my wife was nice enough to buy me a new laptop to replace my aging one. So I'm hoping to do my video editing on that and hopefully make more professional looking videos. And I'd like to ask a favor of my viewers. If any of you have any suggestions on video editors for a Windows 10 computer, I would appreciate any input. So if you think about it in the comments, if you leave any comments, please give me some suggestions. Okay, after that, let's see. Let's go into Allen Sat Camp's layout. He models the Twin Cities in Western. Even though it sounds like a home road, it actually is a modern, thriving short line in southern Minnesota that goes from the Twin Cities all the way into the Dakotas. I did a little bit of research on it. It's a very modelable little short line with all sorts of action, and Alan did a heck of a job modeling it. I'd like to tell you a little story about how I met Alan. First, I was given a heads up by Mike Brashears, another one of my subscribers, and if you're not into Mike's channel, you really ought to be. He said that he had heard through the NMRA grapevine that a modeler from the Kansas City area, who is quite respected, was moving into our area, Bloomington Normal. So I didn't think much about it. It's going to keep my eyes open. A few weeks later, I have a gaming group that I get together with a couple times a month. I've been doing that for 20 years. It's in the basement of a good friend of mine, Tom Worsing. And so I was over at Tom's, and he introduces me to this gentleman by the name of Allen Sat Camp, whose daughter is going to be married by Tom, who is a Lutheran minister. Come to find out, Alan has been a Lutheran minister as well. And so just serendipitously, he showed up at the gaming table and said, oh, by the way, I'm also a model railroader and I have a layout under construction. So just to show how small the town Bloomington is, that's how we bumped into each other. Alan was kind enough to extend an invitation to both Tom Worsing and I to visit his layout. Here's some footage from that. Alan is the taller guy. Tom's background is a gamer, but has never really been exposed to a model railroad, and certainly not on that scale. So I think you'll find it interesting. Please enjoy.
See that F0 upper left? So your headlight went off, and then it comes back on. If you wanted to turn off the number boards, it's F5 on the second row. So that turns off your number boards. But since you are going forward and you want a lot of illumination, guess what? It's nighttime and the lights are... I'll leave the lights on. I just want to show you this feature, this dimmer feature. These are LEDs, and I had the electrician watch what you can see later at night. How's that? Is that kind of cool?
That's really cool.
That is neat.
But for video purposes, we're going to make it bright daylight. Okay. So, let's see what the job is for the utility job, which did a lot of work on the last Wednesday night deal, but these are done. I'll worry about those later. We are the utility job, and here we are. We did a lot of work last Wednesday, but because the ruble turn was kind of slow switching, and we didn't make it back in time, and we ran out of time, we didn't get to run the utility job west. So the train is already blocked. There are cars going to Montevideo, Louisville, Granite Falls, west. And the second cut, there's some couple cars for Hector. We're going to spot those on the way back. Our job is to run to Rubel, which is where that train started from.
So it's around the bend of the
Yep.
corner.
We're going to spot the westbound cars on slough tracks 3 and 4. We're going to pick up eastbound cars. We have a maximum of 10 cars. We're going to put the Hector cars, which are those, that's my job, at the head of the train. We're going to run to Hector, which is the town east of Rubel, and work the industry. So we'll drop these off where they go, and we'll pick up a few cars. Then we'll come back to Glencoe. We'll put the eastbound cars on track 2, if there's any room, and we'll put, or on track 3, and then we'll hustle the power and tie up on Enge's service track. So eventually, when we're done, we'll put your locomotive over here on the other available track. Got it? My job to conduct, I might turn it over to Kevin. I noticed he opted out by saying he wanted to shoot video instead of conduct. Wise move on his part, but he's only going to shoot video for a while, so we'll put him to work later. So let's walk the train. We want to make sure that the right cars are going where they're supposed to. We have MLLX covered hopper 295, so we want to find that car somewhere here in the stack of pickups for the utility job. Now, where did they hide those car cards? I hope he didn't take them with him in his pocket. These are going east. Oh, here are the west cars. So we have a gondola right there. We have the covered hopper there. We have a grain hopper there. We have 2 tank cars at the end. 54 and 07. Looks good. So we have the right consist. And believe it or not, even though this is model railroading, some people choose not to walk their train, and they rely on the previous person who worked on the train to have everything correctly spotted. And guess what? Just like in real life, that doesn't always happen. But we've walked the train. I walked up and down and saw the right cars with the right paperwork. So, on your throttle, the dial is for your acceleration and stop. So that's the stop position.
So if I turn it this way, it
Turn it
moves.
clockwise, it will move. And also when we get near that grade crossing, we're going to sound the bell, which is that one. Try it out. Yep. And the horn is long, long, short, long, and ideally your last long is as the engine is crossing the grade crossing. If you just do 4 tonight, that's good. Perfect. Okay, let's go forward, head to Buffalo Lake with our 5-car consist. And as you approach the grade crossing, you can turn on the bell and sound the horn.
And when is the right time for that?
At the rate you're going, I would say when you get to the first
In the way.
turbine.
So am I going too fast or
No,
too slow?
coming out of it's like being in a parking lot. You're coming out of a parking lot, the freight yard. You don't go 60 out of the freight yard. Okay.
Oh, all right.
That was good.
Well, there's accident. And where am I going?
We're going all the way to Rubel.
It's where the last train started. I think, right?
Yes. I'm going to come in on the main.
I got my tripod.
They're pushing. And we're going to good. We're going to keep these two because those are destined for the next station. But come on forward.
I mean, like the other way.
Back. I'm sorry. Yeah, back.
The other forward.
The other forward. Other direction. Clear the switch here. Okay. Now I'd like you to reverse direction, come back on these 4 cars.
You say this is the 3rd version of this you've done. Is it similar track plan throughout, or have you changed it all the time?
No, this is the first room I've had. In Kansas City, I had an 11.5 by 15-foot room.
Oh, wow. Which would, end scale would be amazing, but you have
Yeah.
25 square here?
25 by 26.
I'd like to add that after I put down the camera, I had a chance to operate with Tom. I was the conductor and he was the engineer, and we switched out quite a lot. By the end, Tom, who had never seen a big model railroad before, was switching like a pro. So we all both had a very, very good time. I guess a quick summary of Alan's layout. It's a true point-to-point, somewhere between 2 and 3 scale miles of track, all Atlas HO code 83. His schedule has 10 trains, some of which are through trains, some of which are locals that do switching. It's designed for 6 or so operators. Each train had a loco card, car card, which had the 4-position waybill, because there's quite a lot of action on that layout, and also printed instructions for each train and what they were supposed to do. He has a minimalist approach to scenery. It's basically one long, narrow shelf that loops back around itself with a lot of low-profile buildings. It really reminded me of the work of David Barrow and the Cat Mountain in Santa Fe, which was quite influential, I guess, in the 90s. All in all I can say is, wow, that he has a very well-developed layout that is very much an operations-oriented Pike, and I look forward to seeing any progress he makes. By the way, he's only been working on this for about 6 months, so give him some time. I think that's going to be an amazing layout, and hopefully I'll get a chance to be a regular operator there. So that's kind of it for today. I'd like to go over one last thing, N scale of Bloomington Normal, my modular group. We have several meets coming up. First, January 25th through 27th, we'll be at the Great Train Show in St. Charles, Missouri. I don't know if I'm going to be set up there, but I know some of our people will be there. February 22nd and 23rd, we'll be at the Gridley Public Library in Gridley, Illinois. That's a date change to fit into their schedule better. It's a little off the beaten path, but if you're around, come on by and stop by and say howdy. And last but not least, March 29th through 31st, the Urbana Train Show will be at Lincoln Square Mall. We're still kind of working out the details, but we're hoping to participate in that in some form or another. So all in all, there's a lot of stuff to keep me busy with modular trains and other things for the next few months. As always, if you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. And thank you very much. I'll talk to you next time.